Jeff Goldblum speaks out about Sam Neill's final days. Sometimes the most heartbreaking tribute isn't a long speech. It's one old video, one song, one memory that suddenly means everything. When I saw what Jeff Goldblum chose to share after Sam Neill's death, I realized he wasn't trying to explain their friendship. He was letting us see it. And honestly, I don't think anyone expected that quiet moment around a piano would become their final goodbye. For most movie fans, Jeff Goldblum and Sam Neill will always be Dr. Ian Malcolm and Dr. Alan Grant. Two completely different personalities arguing their way through dinosaur disasters while somehow saving each other over and over again. On screen, they looked like co-workers who barely tolerated each other. Off screen, they became something much rarer. What's amazing is that their friendship didn't begin because they had similar personalities. If anything, they were opposites. Jeff was endlessly energetic, unpredictable, always ready with another joke or strange observation. Sam was calmer, more reserved, dryly funny in a way that sneaked up on you. Somehow, those differences fit perfectly. But before we get back to Jeff, there's something about Sam Neill that completely changed the way I see him. For years, audiences admired his confidence on screen. Very few knew that as a child, speaking was one of the hardest things he ever had to do. Sam was born in Northern Ireland in September 1947, before his family eventually moved to New Zealand. The move wasn't easy. He arrived with a different accent, a different name, and stood out immediately among the other children. Eventually, he started going by Sam instead of Nigel. That solved one problem. It didn't solve the other. For nearly 14 years, Sam struggled with a severe stutter. He later admitted that most days he simply hoped people wouldn't speak to him because then he wouldn't have to answer. Think about that for a second. The man who would later spend decades speaking in front of movie cameras once feared ordinary conversations. I didn't know that until recently, and it honestly made everything else in his life feel even more remarkable. Ironically, acting became part of the cure. While studying English literature at university, Sam joined drama productions and discovered something unexpected. Playing someone else somehow freed his own voice. It's almost impossible not to appreciate the poetry in that. The thing people assume would be impossible for someone with a stutter became the thing that changed his life. His career slowly gathered momentum. Films like Sleeping Dogs, My Brilliant Career, Dead Calm, The Hunt for Red October, and The Piano established him as one of the most respected actors of his generation. Then came 1993, Jurassic Park. A movie nobody could have predicted would become one of the biggest blockbusters ever made. But here's something that rarely gets mentioned. The friendships inside that cast weren't built during red carpet premieres. They were built during absolute chaos. While filming in Hawaii, Hurricane Iniki slammed directly into the island. The cast and crew suddenly found themselves worrying about something far more serious than finishing a movie. Years later, Sam admitted they genuinely feared for their lives. That shared experience changed everything. Jeff Goldblum later spoke about those days with genuine affection, because surviving something frightening together has a strange way of eliminating small talk forever. You skip straight to real friendship. Decades passed. Their careers went in different directions. Sam built a peaceful life outside acting too, creating his vineyard in New Zealand called Two Paddocks. Winemaking became one of his greatest passions. Jeff often teased him about it. Actually, Sam joked that Jeff never seemed nearly as interested in wine as he wished he would be. That's the kind of detail close friends remember. Not awards, not box office numbers, tiny running jokes that nobody else understands. Life, though, wasn't always kind to Sam. His longtime marriage eventually ended after many years together. He also experienced devastating personal losses, including the death of one of his oldest friends, John Clark, a friendship that stretched back to university. Even then, Sam rarely turned private grief into public performance. That was simply who he was. Then another challenge arrived. In 2022, doctors discovered he had stage 3 angioimmunoblastic T-cell lymphoma, an aggressive blood cancer. His first chemotherapy treatment didn't work. Imagine hearing that. after already preparing yourself for the fight ahead. Fortunately, doctors placed him on an experimental treatment that eventually pushed the cancer into remission. Sam never pretended the journey was easy. He openly admitted he had wondered whether he was dying. At the same time, he also made it clear he still had plans. He wanted more years. He wanted to watch his grandchildren grow up. That hope stayed with him. Jeff Goldblum knew about the diagnosis almost immediately. Sam chose to tell him early. Jeff later explained that throughout treatment they stayed in regular contact. Every conversation seemed to reassure him that Sam still sounded like himself. Still funny. Still optimistic. Still Sam. Then came Jurassic World Dominion.